Writers. Not my fault. Writers. That's why.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Has it been fun for you to watch your character kind of change and become more of a stern?
Yeah, it's been. This season has been a great. I made the fatal error of going to the writers' room and saying, "What do you think Rick's breaking point is?" And we find out this season. So I've been punished. It's a great journey that I've got this season. It's a beautiful story that we're telling, and yeah, he's a much darker, more isolated character this season. I think all of them have changed. Jumping forward in time is a really good way of sort of explaining a lot of how this world has affected them, and the group dynamic has changed as well. So yeah, I mean, that was always the thing that attracted me to the role, is the fact that this is all about change. The whole story is about people changing. That if you don't change, you die. If you don't adapt, you die. So that was. It's a cool. I mean, if they keep writing and keep pushing this character the way that they, and all the other characters as well. The story of the boy turning to the boy soldier this season is a fascinating story, and I don't think we've seen it before. Certainly not on TV. And but there's so many other characters. By definition of what we do, you kill off the key characters, and then the group dynamic changes, and the show sort of reinvents itself.
Yeah.
So other people step forward, don't they? And you learn more about them, and they change as well.
Do you think Rick could ever become like Shane?
I think he has. I think he's. How many episodes have you seen?
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. So in 2, you see that there's an uncompromising brutality that is very much a decision making, an immediate decision making, which is very much the Shane camp. And I think that's they. I was concerned about showing that too early, but the writers said no, because this season is very much about a clash of worlds and men and camps, and they wanted to see that this is a viable opposition to some other guy called the governor. I mean, I don't like mentioning his name, but yeah, I think that he's and certainly there are pivotal things that happen this season that change, all of the characters, and certainly our group, forever.
What do you think the differences are between Rick and the governor in leadership?
I think that Rick, all the kills and all the responsibilities and the bad calls weigh heavily on him and change him. I think the governor, is able to compartmentalize that and just go, that's the new world. It doesn't erode his soul. He's able to sort of step aside and go, that's just the way it is. I think Rick feels every single death.
To kind of elaborate on that, though, I mean, that's kind of that's the attitude that Shane was building towards in the first 2 seasons. By the end of season 2, like, he's really getting to that point where, like, it is like, this is the way it is. It's not like it was. This is how it is.
I think that's a very smart thing. I think that if Shane had still been around and set up camp, it may have been not dissimilar to the governors, to Woodbury.
Do you think Rick may make that connection and kind of realize that same sort of, when he, when or if he does encounter the governor, he'll make that connection and be like, wow, this guy kind of has that same attitude that my best friend. Like,
I think that you should be on the writing team. It's very smart. No, I think I think it's interesting because I'm not allowed to say anything and spoil anything, but I do think that there is a common bond of leadership that possibly these 2 men recognize in one another, and they're the only people as a reference point. Do you know what I mean? And in this, they perhaps didn't. Rick is certainly a reluctant leader that didn't really want to be there in the first place, but he keeps stepping up. I don't know the governor's story, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I think that would certainly be a very interesting thing to recognize. And yeah, I may put it in next episode. You never know.
Now, when Rick sees the jail, he pretty much responds. It's perfect. This is exactly what.
I love
Talk
it.
about both of your characters' responses to the jail and how it goes on them.
Well, you know, it's with all of us, we've been just thrown into this world. You know, that's horrific and everything, and we've been forced to adapt to it. And so, if you like you said, if you don't adapt, you die. And so, I mean, that's what the world has turned into. And so you can't sorry, saying things again, but it's just the environment of it. You know, you stealing all my.
I'm sorry. I basically stole all of his
stole
sound bites.
everything.
Yeah.
but I mean, it's really just, you know, oh man, I can't say anything, but
What
it's
about?
like,
I mean, because I see it as. I mean, that's the thing I love about the comic book. That image when I think it says we're home in the comic book, and in this we say it's perfect. You know, which you know, what other show does that? You know, you break into a prison,
yeah,
and you're telling
live
that
there.
we're telling that story that it's
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, I love that. I love that's the show that we're trying to do. You know, and I do think that, you know, certainly for Rick, and you know, I would never speak on behalf, but he's kind of, you know, this voice, he's fallen in line with me now, and we're certainly with the rift between me and Laurie. He's sided with his dad. He found out about the infidelity, and he's gone, and they've shut down. And so, if we picked up directly on the back of season 2 and seen the prison, we would never have attempted it. We were too broken. We were too disparate. We were too disorganized. Too distrustful of Rick's leadership. We've spent a time together. We've become this almost sort of organic one organism, breathing, listening, working together. And we're so desperate that when we see the prison, Rick just goes, this is it. This is the Citadel. He sees the future, and he says, this could be a viable place. This is the first time he's seen it. With a perimeter fence, they can control and they can begin again, certainly for the kid.
yeah.
You know?
Can you talk a little bit about the dynamic between Rick and Laurie now, particularly with baby on the way?
Yeah, it's Sarah and I made a conscious decision not to look at each other. Certainly for the first few episodes, until something happens. Because you know these two people love each other, you know, at a cellular level. So, but at the moment they're in the worst place than they've ever been in their whole existence. And you know, she says in episode 2, I believe, if we could have drawn up divorce papers and we would have done it, but we can't, because they hold a common history, and history is vital in this world where everything is being lost. And also for the group, you know, Mama and Papa aren't talking to one another. Herschel's become the mediator. You know, the kid has sided with the father. She does not want to burden Rick with anything, and yet she has the most. You know, she has a time bomb waiting to happen that potentially is going to, you know, but she does it. Sarah did this and made an incredible choice to kind of go, it's fine, don't worry about me. That's her call, which is incredible. So the dynamic has changed. Every time I look at her, it burns. Shame, guilt. That's why, you know, I made a conscious decision not to make any eye contact with her, because we can't. And we haven't been able to ever since the public. We've said that it was public. She's like, this is what's happened around the campfire during the winter. This is what the kid finds out. She said, this is the only way let's air it out, you know. So, but everybody is hurting from it. You know, it's like the kid, you know, it's the Grail myth, isn't it? The king is dead. You know.
The origin of the change, because in season 2, I always thought that when Laurie admitted to your character that she had slept with Shane, Rick's reaction was not realistic. I didn't think a guy would actually say, "Oh well, honey, I understand. The world went to hell."
Yeah.
That didn't seem realistic.
Well, that's your opinion, and it's a very valid opinion. But you know,
I think most guys would probably.
well, yeah. But think about the situation that they're in. And that the great thing about Rick is that he's able to, the strength of leadership and the strength of man that he is that he thinks about the group first. And he's willing to put that aside. I mean, that's not to say that 8 Miles Out isn't the episode I was dying to, because he said, don't think it's forgotten, to Shane, and because the rage is all there, but it's an astonishing decision to make. I mean, how brave and selfless is that he's not willing to combust and implode and tear, and cause this, what could be an incredibly disastrous situation between 2 alpha males on Herschel's farm when the pressure is building. That's the thing I admire about him, is that he's able to suck it up and let it poison him rather than risk the group. Now, I've always said that's the great thing about leadership that he has, is that he is willing to lead to their weakest link, whereas Shane wouldn't. He's like, cut, strength there, and it's his greatest strength, but it's also his greatest weakness. And I love that about him. That's like an old-fashioned story. It's like an Aesop's. It's a fable, isn't it? It's sort of mythology, isn't it? That that's his great. His family is his greatest strength, but it's also his Achilles heel.
So, was there ever anything from the source material that you wish they put into the show for either of your characters?
Well, I'm kind of spoiled with the show. I've got everything I've wanted. Just about now, it's with the changes from season 1 to season 3. You can definitely see it, because it helps me as an actor as well, because I get to play 2 different characters. It helps me a lot. Just from this crying kid in the background in season 1 to this to almost a sidekick. So it's been really, really a fun experience for me, and just getting to learn more from these amazing actors that I have in the show.
Carl has right now completed zombie kill count so far. I think he was in these first 2 episodes. Have you been keeping count yourself how many zombies you've killed?
I don't actually. I know the prop guys do they? Yeah.
Props guys are die-hard fans, And didn't they come up to us in the first day and went, there are more kills in episode 1 than the whole of season 1.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, you're badass this season.
Well, I mean, it's like you said, you have to grow into this world or else you die. I mean, look at Sophia.
That's it.
Sophia
we didn't do that with Sophia. We didn't pardon her, and look what happened.
Do you guys see that as sort of what tips all from the kid into the Robin to the Batman?
Yeah, I mean, that's...
The thing of Shane was probably vital as well.
Yeah.
If ever there was a rites of passage, that would have been it. And for me, certainly, seeing him take down Shane, even though he was a walker, is still a powerful, rites of passage. And I think that certainly was a wake-up call for Rick to go, hey, wait a minute, the kid's ready. I think I even have a line that he's ready, in this season to do something. I'm not going to tell you what.
Yeah.
But certainly he knows. He's becoming, this very vital and necessary soldier.
I'm going to go way off course, but sorry. But let's say in 20 years they remake The Walking Dead. Just happens. What would you tell the actors who are now playing their hands?
Keep it real. Just do it real. Don't do any spin on it. Don't try and do stuff. Just keep it as real and as grounded as you can.
Good luck.
And you go grey doing it.
Yeah.
Would you come back and play Rick?
Sorry?
In 20 years, would you come back and play Rick?
We'll see.
I'm waiting for him to take over so I can kick back. Come on, hurry up and grow so I can just kick back and grow vegetables in the prison.
Yeah, exactly.
So, are there still any moments, like when you're shooting, that are like scary and surreal? Like, this like to freak
Have you
out?
seen? You've all seen the first.
I have not.
Have you not?
I have not. They didn't say.
The end of episode 1 was I couldn't sleep for three hours because of what I had to do in season 1. I was so wired. And I don't want to spoil it for you.
Do you think that's going to come around on Rick?
What?
Just like that.
I was very concerned when I saw it. I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, the props guys were so excited for that too. They said they get to sharpen a weapon instead of dull it.
Yeah.
So you actually hacked off
I-
a mannequin's leg or something?
It's okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
It's part of the job.
Yeah.
I understand.
Have you seen that meme of you floating around Facebook with Billy Joel Osment? Like the top picture is a little boy from The Sixth Sense, and it says, "Sometimes I see dead people." And the bottom photo is you. It's not even The Walking Dead. It's a picture of you from that movie laughing. And it says, "Bitch."
I think I've seen that.
It's
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. There was another one. 2 guys walked into a bar. I shot them.